2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, oopsie, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. Now what in the world did I do here? Look at that mess. See, this is, you look like you have a mess and you're at the end. Okay? So what I want you to do is chain. This is the very end. Okay? So do 2 double crochets in that last double crochet. 1. Oopsie. He always fights with me on last stitch. Okay, let's see. Now, what I want to show you is when the purse, you'll fold it up, and this the shells that you're doing is what folds down. Okay, so you can make this as long, I think, as long as you want. So I don't think I have 17 inches, but I think my shell, no, I have 14. I don't think another 3 inches it's going to look right. Because another 3 inches, show you, would be clear down here. I don't think that'd look right, because that's not how the purse is supposed to look. Now remember, I'm using a bigger yarn. So you can customize this. Oops, look what I did. I tore that out. You can customize this any way you want. I mean, like if you wanted the bag, this bag, to be longer, just add more rows. If you wanted it to be wider, instead of the 38, continue more rows, so the bag will be wider. Right now, the 38 that we started with is about 11, yep, about 11 inches wide. So, and they call for the purse to be 6 by 10, which if you use the yarn they was calling for, and for a worse number 4, weight 4, like you're supposed to, a medium 4, you would get that measurement. Now you gotta remember, I'm using a bulky number 5. Bulky number 5. So you can't really go by. I wanted to use this because I wanted to show you that you can customize this. A lot of patterns you can't customize. This one you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out. Of course I don't have a good pair of scissors. I got my crafty ones. Pull that out. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how. Now they say finish off. And now next, put that aside, and now we're going to do the button. Okay? Are you ready? So you can pause until you get your shells as long as you want. Customize it as you want. Just so you know, this one I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 rows. 5 rows with the medium 4 weight that you're supposed to use. Okay? So, and it measures 17 inches. Okay? So let's do the button. So let's make a loop. Sorry for the buzzer, that's my dryer's done. It'll buzz a couple more times, I'm sorry. So chain 2, 1, 2. Okay, work 3 single crochets in the first chain. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch to form a ring. Alright, does that confuse you? Don't worry, I'll show you. So, not here, but this first chain we made, I want you to put 3 single crochets. So you go into the loop, pull through it, go through 2. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Okay? Oops. Alright, now they said slip stitch. You can find it. Slip stitch through the first stitch. So, let me get the first stitch is over here. So, make sure you get through both loops. Slip stitch. You yarn over through, yarn through. Okay? Did you see that? Don't do no chain or loop over. You just pull your chain through. Alright, chain 1. Chain 1. Now if you want, oops, I'm so very sorry. Oops, I'm so very sorry. I was going for a stitch marker and I bumped, of course, the camera. I'm so very, very sorry. Please forgive me. So you can put a stitch marker in that first stitch so you know where the first stitch is. Okay? Okay. It's at chain 1, single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so that would be right here. In the next stitch, single crochet. Okay. Then it says 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Okay. Make sure you get through both loops. Sometimes it's hard to find your loops, but you can do it. Chain 2. Now, not chain 2. There's 1 single crochet. 2 in that same chain, okay? Now, do 2, 2, do 1 single crochet in this one, and the next one do a single, then the next one do 2. Now, here's our stitch marker. They want you to slip stitch. So you go through. You might have to move your stitch marker. I'm lucky my stitch is big enough that I can do it. Pull through and pull through again. Okay? And it says chain 1. Chain 1. Now, they stitch, single stitch in the next. That would be right there. I'm going to move my stitch marker because this is the last round anyway. Single stitch. Oh, sorry, single stitch. Now, 2 single stitches together. Now that is, put your in the stitch, yarn over, pull through. Don't pour through the 2. You yarn over, go through the next hole, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 4. And of course my yarn is really thick, so just work your way through. Okay. Now it says slip stitch to the first stitch. Oh, slip stitch and yarn off. So, oopsie. And then there's your little button. Don't worry about this. I will show you how to get rid of that. That's your cute little button. Okay? Okay, now, once you get a needle, anything I'm doing off camera, I was pulling this through. And of course this, see how this yarn is, it's being naughty. But that's okay. That will disappear. Alright, get you a chunky yarn. Usually they say twice the size as your sewing. I like mine a little bit longer. So get you a needle. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to sew in my ends first. So what you do, see my yarn? See how it's fuzzy? There's no way I'm going to get that needle through. So what you do, take your needle, you fold, and you pinch. Okay? Then you take your needle's eye and you go through. Of course it's fighting with me today because I want to show you how to do this, because this is the slickest thing. Pinch. I don't know why I'm having trouble today. I know why. My arthritis is flaring. And then you just pull through, okay? Oh, I'm in a knot. I'm going to cut that knot off. And I got a fuzz ball in my needle there. I think that's part of the problem. Because this is easier than what I'm showing you. Because I've been doing this maybe it's fighting with me today, probably because I'm on camera. See if I can do it off camera. All I'm doing is threading my needle. Yep, off camera, slicker than slick. Alright, all you do is feed it through on the top loop. Now, this yarn is hard to do, so don't go by me tugging and pulling, okay? Because it's this yarn. It's thick and heavy and fuzzy, and I just want to show you that with patience you can use any yarn, even if it's your favorite yarn and it's thick, you can still use it. You just got to be patient. Okay. Pull through. There we go. And just pull that. See, in that slick. Alright, now go through. I like to go at least. Don't pull real tight so it buckles. But I like to go least. Some people go 2. I like to go 3 personally. That way I know that's not going to come undone. So if you use yarn that is washable, you can, like the other two purses I showed you, they're washable, the yarn. I don't know if this one's washable or not. I haven't checked. Yes, it is. Washable and dryable. So you want it to be able, you know, wash and dry if your purse gets dirty. So I don't want my yarn to come undone. All I'm doing is at the top where the shells are, threading my needle again, pinch, I didn't pinch it hard enough, I guess. There it goes. Come on. There we go. There we go. Now, you can't go, so you know, you can't go back through the loop where it's coming out of, because it'll unravel. So you have to skip and go through this one. Okay, then you just go through the loop. And make sure you don't pull too tight, because you don't want to pull tight in that, you know, you ruin your shell. You want to make sure your shell still stands up nice and tall. Okay? And I'm going to continue down this way. Then I'll go back up through the way I came. I'm going to go through just one more time just to make sure. Okay? Well, then cut off your tail. I have a bad habit of putting my needle in my mouth to hold it. Okay. This is where we started. Now that tells me this is the right side. Okay? If this tail is on the right side is showing. So I want the right side to show. I want you to fold it up till you get to the top before you get to your shells. Okay? Now, get you a piece of yarn and put it on your thread, a nice long piece. Okay. Now what I want you to do, now you can put a stitch marker to hold it if you want. That's fine. Do whatever you got to do. So I'm going to start at this one. I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to start this 2 stitches down and go up. Okay? And pull my yarn. And I still want a tail because I got to weave that in. Okay? And what I do, you're not supposed to, but what I do is I take that tail and then the tail that we started with, and I make a knot. That way, because that's where pressure, when you open and close your purse, is going to be. And even though I did a knot, see, it still moves. So what I want you to do is take your yarn. See, this is my tail for the front. And match them together. Okay? See? And then I want you to do is go back through the first chain and the first chain. Your tails are going to get in the way, of course. Just get them out of the way. Get them out of the loop. You want that loop against your purse, okay? Pull it really tight, okay? Now, I want you to do that again. Same place. Go across, go in this, and go to the next. Go this loop, go to the next loop. So just where you were, but go across. Because I really want that's to be reinforced. Because that's where your purse opens and closes, okay? So you want that to be really secure. Alright, now get this all lined up, okay? Now I want you to go up here and go through this loop to this loop, okay? And pull through. Now, if your little ties get in the way, you get them out of your loop, okay? Then do it again, good. And then we're going to do that all the way down. Now don't make these real super tight, because then your purse will buckle. And I have a habit of making my stitches tight, so I've got to be mindful not to make them real super tight, because you don't want this to pucker, but you also, and you notice I keep on pulling because I don't want it to pucker, but you don't want it so loose that it will gap open and all your goodies fall out of your purse. Okay, just keep on. Go through the loop, pull through. Oop. Grab the scissors. Okay. Don't worry about your yarn. If you're doing a striping yarn and it doesn't match, it won't show on the other side once we get done here. Oops, I'm so sorry. Once we get done here, you won't see the stitches at all. It'll be nice. All the way down. See, go through the loop and a loop. Some people call this a blanket stitch, and even though this is the very bottom loop and you think, oh, I don't need to go there, yes you do. And then I want you to go through there again. That's the bottom of your bag. Now, if you put a bunch of stuff in there, I went through twice. Because if you put a bunch of stuff in this bag, where do you think all the pressure and the weight's going to be? In that corner. So what I want to do is, after I'm done, I did it twice. I think I'll do it again, just to make double sure, because I want my purse to be really skirty. Can't say that word today. Oh, all right. Now I'm going to hide my tail. Showed you how to do that before. Go through. I'll go through again. Here's your top loop, because you don't want it to show on the other side. I go 3 times just to secure it. Sorry, I don't have my good scissors. Alright, let's do the other side. I flip mine. Okay. Start at the opposite side, go up. I go up 2 stitches. Make sure you have a tail. Now I don't have a tail over on this side, so what you do is you just go in that first stitch. Just go over, straight over. Now once you go, can you see, back through again to that first stitch, so you have a loop over, and do that one more time. So really secure that top, because if it's going to come undone, that's where it will come undone. Then do the same stitch all the way down. I put a stitch in each loop, just about, or at least every other. Oops, that one's a little tight. Whatever you think. That your yarn, your purse, how tight you need to make those stitches so things don't fall out. Okay, come to the end here. Yep, gotta do that very bottom a couple of times just to make sure that nothing falls out that corner. Okay, now I'm going to hide thread. My thread. Yarn, Brenda. It's yarn. Okay. Almost through.